Long way to go, but she's gonna be worth it. Hoping to put eyes on goats pretty quick here. Pretty sure those are tracks. This is really promising looking country.
It's extremely important to me that we look to the future, tastefully imagining generations to come having the ability to choose to have a hunting lifestyle for themselves.
Hunting is what fuels us, it is what grounds us, and it is what connects us. Hunting is where we come from, and hunting is where we will continue to go.
Live on the edge, 'cause brother, win or lose, it's all in what you do with the chance you're given. Yeah, through the wind and rain, you feel your heart pounding. You got one shot, what you got? Tell me what's it gonna be? You gotta make the most of this opportunity. On the edge.
The Edge is proudly brought to you by Quiet Cat e-bikes, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable, high mountain seasonings, G5 Outdoors, designed to hunt, Vortex Canada, the force of optics, Snowy Mountain Rifles, Prime Archery, where accuracy is everything, Canis Athlete, be the wolf, Kafaru International, gear for life, Victory Archery, the carbon arrow experts, Wolverine Guns and Tackle, Novix Tree Stands, and these fine sponsors.
Been driving for roughly 14 hours so far today. Still got 2 hours left on the drive before we can put our heads on a pillow, but should make for a nice short drive in the morning. We'll be at the trailhead bright and early.
Last night we rolled into Terrace. Road we were hoping to drive in to get a little closer to our zone was really snowed in. So we went to a local pub, grabbed a bite and a drink, and just did a funny little social media post about the fact that we were in town. And believe it or not, a local reached out to us and said he's got a snowmobile and he wants to take us up that last little section to get us to where we need to get to. So again, outdoor community is absolutely amazing, getting involved, helping us get closer to our location and shaving a few kilometers off of our mooring today.
Well, we're here with Colby. Colby reached out and heard we were going to be trekking in for a few extra K on this logging road.
Thought I could save you some kilometers.
And we appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it. We got a long trek today and you're going to shave a few hours off for us. So
That's the idea.
thank you very much.
Welcome to the area.
It's going to be a fun day. So we're going to shuttle in the first few K up the road here. We still got a long ways to go after that, but it'll get us a little bit closer to where we rest our heads tonight. And then we can drop some weight at base camp and go from there.
Let's see if I don't break my luggage scale doing this.
0 pounds. $40 kilograms. 88 pounds. That's not terrible. I would have been happier at 72, but 88 will do. Thanks
Yeah,
again.
you bet, man. I had that dab on. Couldn't get a good breath.
We've been hiking for a little while now after jumping off the sleds, and we're at a fork in the road. We're going to be heading up the upper trail to a creek crossing that we want to get to, and then Kyle's going to find us a very cozy place to lay our heads tonight.
Man, their breakfasts are good.
They're freaking tasty, aren't they? It was a pretty aggressive trek in last night. Got in just after dark. We had to dig down about 3 feet into the snow in order to get our tent set up, but we got her done. Pretty wet night, I think, through the night. Some decent weather rolling in. Got a bit of a break right now, so we're getting some fresh air out of our tents, but probably spend most of today hunkered down in our tents. We have 2 really cold nights pushing in. Don't want a chance of getting wet. Try and do some quick little day breaks when we can. Short treks out from camp to start making some game plans and get eyes on some hills, but I don't think we're gonna be doing anything aggressive with what's been rolling through so far. So caught a bit of a break in the weather here. We weren't expecting it, but we're taking full advantage of it. We loaded up quick and just pushing down the road a little bit. Gonna glass up into the hills, see if we can find some open chutes, maybe some bluffs the goat's been hanging out on. Realistically, we're probably just mapping out the area, trying to get an eye on some country we might head into tomorrow. But so far so good.
Pretty sure those are tracks. I think I see 2 sets of tracks.
Let's do all of our far away exploration today. Get up over here, do some looking around. And if it doesn't, then we know we want to head the other way tomorrow. I think it's been a very productive day regardless so far. Just taking a look on our Hunt Buddy app right now. Got a bit of a hybrid satellite imaging system. I can track, mark my points, make sure I know where we've been at. It also gives us an idea of what kind of country is around us, so helps me make some plans for tomorrow and the following days, and process of elimination, really, at this point. Cold morning today, negative 14 to start it off. We're just getting loaded up. We're gonna head up above camp here. There's a different drainage we wanna check out. Country looks really promising. Good news is it's a clear, sunny day, so if the goats are out, they should be out in the sun, warming up. I am trying to extend my poles because they were wet last night, and I shortened them, and it got to negative 14 overnight, and now the mechanisms are frozen because the water's in there. So, a little bit of a tip for you guys: do not compress your trekking poles at the end of the night if it's going to get to negative 14. That's a bit of a rookie move right there. Just stopping to drop a layer. I was wearing my synthetic jacket. It was far too heavy once it started moving, so taking that off so I stayed dry. Now I can hike and be able to sweat and breathe better, and don't have to worry about getting soaking wet. If the goats are where we think they might be, we're not going to be able to get up there to them, so we gotta hope we find some goats lower down, but we're not seeing any track or sign in the areas we were hoping for. But it's still early in the hunt. First section of trees, see the big rock bluff on the top right?
Yeah.
Coming to the trees down below us. There's 2 goats walking in there, but we're never getting up there in a million years. We finally got eyes on some goats up there, but they were way higher than we were hoping to see them. There's some serious potential of avalanches out here with the snow levels right now. That adds a whole new layer of danger as we're going up into some of these zones. So we're gonna look at the maps tonight and kind of reassess what our game plan is. Maybe find something that still opens up into a similar zone, but
This one section just had some real sheer bluffs below it that are probably impassable for individuals with the gear that we brought with us. So
I didn't think it was safe to do so.
no.
And I think the idea is for the goats to die and not us. So
That's the plan. Yeah, get up there, or we can take them home and still get home to our families. So. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kyle. Happy birthday to you. Woo!
A significant drop in temperature created a hard shell on top of the snow overnight, so we took advantage of the opportunity and covered as much ground as possible to see if we could find some more accessible goats in a new location.
With the sun out right now, we're expecting the goats to be out on the ridges. We're just gonna be hiking and glassing, cruising the creek bottoms and glassing high. Hopefully get some eyes on some goats up top and come up with a game plan.
Covered a lot of ground today. There was a section on the map we were really hoping would be promising, and we headed back in here and it's just not giving us what we were expecting. So it's a bit of a challenge. It was a long hike. It's been a chilly morning. Last night was a real cold night and a rough sleep. So riding out one of the lows right now, to say the least. That wraps another day in the hills here today. Very optimistic start, but goats were not cooperating. I guess it's time to listen to our advice from day one. You know, 100% of the time you find the goats right where they are. So we're gonna wake up extra early tomorrow, head back into the same zone we went day one where we saw the nanny and the kid. So that's our plan for the morning, get back in there and put some good time glassing the hills. Fingers crossed we can change our luck.
Tell you what, on a hunt like this, you really learn to appreciate good footwear. They may be solid,
Frozen solid right now, but in a few minutes, my toes will be nice and warm, and they'll be warm until I take these boots off tonight. So, yeah, on a cold trip like this, you need the right insulation and the right footwear, that's for sure. Long way to go, but she's gonna be worth it.
I love dropping layers. It is so convenient.
Songbird of our generation right there.
Let's go find some goats. Or let's take our time.
Always living on Kyle.
Like that.
We're down to the final stretch here. We got 2 days left in the hunt. Weather kind of held us back for a little bit, so we lost some time in the tents, but woke up early this morning, put a hard push back into the country we really wanted to get eyes on. We got good visibility today. We're hoping to put eyes on goats pretty quick here because with just 2 days left on the clock, you can imagine it doesn't give you much time left. We're definitely feeling the pressure ramp up a little bit. I see one goat standing in the open, down below. It's a billy, right? Finally into the goats. So far this morning, we've picked up 6 goats, some nannies and kids, and one decent younger billy. Not quite what we're looking for at this point though. It's early in the day. Hopefully we see more action as the sun starts heating up and they're coming out and stretching their legs in the sun. But for now, we're just gonna hunker down here in the coldest, nastiest section of the hillside, freeze our tails off while they enjoy all the sun. Finally ID a nice billy, and right as we're trying to make a plan as to how we can get up to him, he turns around and starts heading straight up and over the mountain. And he was already in a chute that has some active avalanches today, and the temperatures are going to continue to climb, so we had to keep that in mind. So right now we've got a lot to think about heading into tomorrow. One day left of hunting, and if that's the only billy we got eyes on, we got to figure out how we make a play on him. A long day to say the least, but we got eyes on a billy that we want to go after in the morning. We've got a spot down here right close to camp. We can actually still glass him. So we're just going to watch him, hopefully put him to bed tonight, and then look at our maps and put a plan together for the morning. It's going to be a serious push in the morning, but we've got one day left before the next big storm front rolls in. So time to put all of our eggs in one basket, head up there, and go for broke, as they say. If you at home are wondering how cold it is out here on this trip, I forgot to put my gloves in my sleeping bag last night, and it's about that cold. So that's just a little bit of sweat inside those gloves, and they froze that solid. Right now I got to figure out how I'm going to get my hands into these so I can hike around today. We've pushed up first half of the hike we wanted to get done this morning. We made a quick stop to be able to glass and locate our billy before pushing up the second half. And we're not seeing him in the area where we left him, but we have spotted 2 new goats on a far ridge. It's hard to tell. They're right basically at the max end of our visibility with our spotting scopes, but it looks like it could be 2 billies. We're not sure if they're in an accessible spot, so right now we're in a bit of a tough situation trying to figure out what the right play is. Heading down in through here and up that is our only shot at getting this sucker right now. At this point, we have tried a few different routes and they weren't panning out, and we finally just realized with the amount of time we have left, daylight, we don't have time to try any more routes.
Hunt's over.
Hunt's over. Tough pill to swallow. I think the last hour we really were just battling it. We were pushing, and we both realized that with the amount of daylight we have left, it just wasn't feasible. But neither of us wanted to admit it. But at this point, there's no way we can get to where we need to get to today and still get back to camp safely. So yeah, it hurts. It hurts. It's tough, but we came into a zone that we did as much e-scouting beforehand as we could. And it was obviously, it's always gonna be different when you get in there, and you know, the weather definitely got in our way with a few days eating up our plans. We finally located a good billy that we wanted to go after, and we just didn't have enough time on the clock to get in there and make it happen. So this trip looks like we're going home with some unfinished business, and time to hit the drawing board for next year again.
Sums it up pretty good.
Yep. All in all, good hunt, pushed hard, covered a lot of ground, and yeah, not the way you want it to end, but can't win them all. Back to the drawing boards for next year. Leaving some unfinished business up here.
The Edge is proudly brought to you by Quiet Cat e-bikes, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable, high mountain seasonings, G5 Outdoors, designed to hunt, Vortex Canada, the force of optics, Snowy Mountain Rifles, Prime Archery, where accuracy is everything, Canis Athlete, be the wolf, Kafaru International, gear for life, Victory Archery, the carbon arrow experts, Wolverine Guns and Tackle, Novix Tree Stands, and these fine sponsors.